spirits keep Zippo in a packet. Cell phone rings. He's gone before it finishes. Smoke in the hall. Footsteps, midnight business. My daddy's got a magnum in the moonlight. Chrome heart cowboy in the crossfire tonight. He's a shadow with a silver little sunrise. Spinning that cylinder when I'm running the fire.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to another episode of In Your Face. And in this episode of In Your Face, we're going to continue on with, you guessed it, the Men of Action miniseries. In this series so far, we've talked about a lot of crazy stuff. We talked, in previous videos, we talked about criminal investigations that I was involved in as an independent investigator, using knowledge that I had acquired through sometimes nefarious ways, and then, of course, my medical background and just an inquisitive knowledge, always learning things, always picking up new things, study, that sort of thing. We talked about in a couple previous videos how I stuck my neck out and helped women that I wasn't even married to, but because I couldn't turn a blind eye. And in this video, we're going to talk about my return to independent investigation. That's right, folks. Guess who's back? Even though he said never again. You guessed it. And this time, I've had many years to learn a lot of things, okay? And we're talking, for the longest time, people thought that I was a strange bird because I was a people watcher. Oh, you staring at me? I'm learning. I'm learning because the more you study people, you learn very quickly who you can and can't trust, especially if they're standing in front of you. Along with that, my alcoholism and the ability to kind of read people and everything. But if they're not standing in front of you, sometimes it's a little harder to read. Which now brings us to modern times. If you will, I would say a few months ago. Now, many of you knew, a few months ago, dear old Prince Magnum was running with a guy on Star Trek Online. And I'm going to go ahead and do something that I don't normally do. My name is Dennis Pohl, okay? And I am a junior. So, now that I've put that out there, let's talk about the perp who keeps changing his YouTube name, his Twitch name, Ian Green, okay? Who lives in the United Kingdom. That's right, UK, Britain. If you will, even though I'm not stepping foot there, we haven't gotten that far, criminal investigation has now brought me to the shores of England. Very quickly, I want to give a special shout out to the entire country of England, who is filled with some just wonderful, wonderful people. Unfortunately, just like here in the United States, a few bad apples, right? A few bad apples. Ian Green and myself, Mr. Green, for the longest time did a lot of collab stuff and things like that. And he would talk a little bit about his time in the Royal Marines. For the record, even though we're talking England and you guys have your military, and over here in the United States we have our military. If you will, my great-grandpa fought in the First World War. That means he fought alongside, British troops during the First World War. During the Second World War, my grandpa fought alongside England. He was actually briefly in England in 1943. Okay, he was in England in 1943. Trained there and everything. and followed up with going into southern France later, a little bit later in the war, and in 1945 was discharged. So now that we've kind of established that, whenever you guys mention, when any of you over in England mention that you're veterans, mad respect, just as much as I would give veterans here in the United States. Okay. So for me, it was it's like I get to hang out with a veteran of the Royal Marines. Shit. Until the day came when I'm getting ready to make a triumphant return after moving into where we're at now. Bringing Cinnamon back for her own show. And came up with an idea, hey, let's do it like this. And I offered it to Mr. Green, and he's like, yeah, I'm on board, Well, in another live stream, well, I'll just play the clip.
This evening, I will be live again tomorrow for Lego Horizon Zero Dawn and the start of the 5-hour Cinnamon live stream, which is a brand new show starting every Wednesday. So I'll be starting the pre-show at 8 PM on my channel, and Prince will be going for 3 hours on his channel once my 2 hours is up. So yeah, hope to see you all for that one. Until then, goodbye!
Sounds very similar to the Tuesday Night Legends.
It is. That's what he says, but I'm not happy about it because I don't want to do it. But well.
Okay.
I said to Pinky, I'm just gonna live stream at 8 o'clock. But hey ho. Bye everyone. Love you all. Bye. Love you.
That's right. The son of a bitch basically buried me behind thinking I wasn't paying attention. I was in the live stream. I was just kind of lurky-turkey because I was chasing after, a little bit. After my baby girl, I'm chasing after her because, I'm a stay-at-home dad. And he pulls this fast one. Now, this in itself is not a crime, okay? Let's get that out of the way. This is not a crime. What is what I'm about to tell you next, okay? Now, when I cornered him on this, and I'm like, you dirty, rotten son of a bitch, why couldn't you be truthful? And more people that knew him started coming forward. Oh, yeah, he's like that all the time. He's a lying sack of shit. Okay. Well, knowing what I know about veterans, that this sort of behavior, for those that do not know, I worked in the medical field for 13 years before I was forced into retirement due to a stroke. That being said, here he is, doing things that isn't typical of a veteran, okay? The way he was lying, and then when he was caught, he just kept stacking the lies on, okay? This is an automatic red flag. Either A, the person never actually served, because if you don't know, they instill a type of honesty in you that's so rigid. Every veteran I've ever met, when they come home, they carry that with them. This feeling of honor and honesty and integrity. I wasn't seeing that here. So either A, they never served, so they're lying, and they use that as a cover story to act like they're a badass, or B, they were dishonorably discharged. Now that's the crime. I know some of you are like, oh, yeah, government fraud. Start investigating. Because, like, if he's doing this, who else is he doing this to? But along with that, with actions like this, is he who he says he is, okay? You start, you guys can see where the red flags are. So I started investigating. Come find out, the story gets deeper. In the middle of another live stream, he's making sexual comments towards a minor, about a minor, if you will. Now, bear in mind, the mother of this particular minor, I'm going to go out on a limb at this point. I went out on a limb at this time and didn't have any you know, how do I put this? Didn't have any thought that she would, you know, that she was nefarious. Okay, I didn't, you know, she just didn't seem, you know, it seemed like the type that would do something, you know, that would purposely put her kids in danger. Okay, she didn't seem like that time at that time. Okay, since then I've had a bit of a change of heart on that. And he was saying some things, and I talked with a few people over there. They're like, "That's a serious red flag. Didn't this guy say that? And didn't he? Doesn't he have this?" And we started looking. Okay, and this guy's got a criminal record already. Okay, he's already got a criminal record. Good luck getting into it, because from what I've been able to figure out, it's, again, this is getting pretty deep. Now, there's a lot to this story, but basically, a few of the people I was over there said, "You guys got to report this, okay? You guys got to report this to the police." And all the while, we're kind of watching very closely. We've got actual moles inside his Discord, okay? We've got people all over, basically, in the United States and in England watching the same things I'm watching, and then the police get involved. This is exciting, okay? Because the police take one look and they're like, this guy. They're like, oh yeah. Yeah, everything we see right here, oh yeah. He's wanting access to the children. Say certain things like that, but he's wanting access to the children. Specifically, the minor, you know, the daughter who is a minor, okay? Bear in mind, now, again, the police have agreed with the assessment, okay? They are in full agreement. And after, you know, they actually went and said, "We're watching you, and you better behave yourself. Enough's enough. No more, okay? Otherwise, we're going to have to go deeper. Like, up to the elbow deeper, okay?" He doesn't stop. Remember, this is a guy that, bear in mind, okay, whether it's a serial killer, big special shout out to Breakfast Cereal, a channel that examines serial killers, because, you know, around the time I'm looking at this, you know, kind of, you know, I had to brush up on a couple of things. Whether it's that or in this particular case, you know, when you're dealing with something nefarious like what we're talking about here, someone trying to get access to minors, you know, what are we dealing with here? You know, basically, we're dealing with a similar mindset, if you will. He continues on. The police go out and put him on a house arrest, okay? They basically said, you don't go anywhere, you don't talk to anybody with kids, nothing. He broke that. And because he's that type. "Oh, they ain't watching me. Nobody's saying nothing." Bullshit. Bullshit. You were being watched, okay? When the police tell you, we know what you're doing, okay? And bear in mind, they have every one of the live streams that he's been involved in, okay? They've got them all. There's that Wayback Machine on the internet that, even though you delete it off of YouTube, it's still there, okay? Here's where it gets deeper, okay? By this time, the mother of the children is defending him. And I'm just going to go ahead and out her right now in a way that I'm not going to use her name, but I'm going to go ahead and out her enough so her other half can hear this part. The police also have have all the screenshots of some of the things that they were saying back and forth. And basically, she was offering her own children up, including their son. Is what the report came back to me as. Bear in mind, it's got to come all the way across the Atlantic, so, it's just one of those things. By this time, we have realized that, that this is a lot worse than we thought. Because at this point in time, the message was sent out to people that knew him, and people started coming forward. Mothers with children came forward, him asking to have access to their children. And we're talking lots of people. Bear in mind, this Mr. Green is married, okay? I don't know what his wife has to say about this, but I've got a pretty good idea this is not the first time that he's been in trouble with the legal system. Bear in mind, this guy does have a criminal record. However, because it was from around the time he was still I believe he'd already started to pension out of the Marines, but he was still kind of as a reservist. Those records have been sealed, which still means he shouldn't be getting a pension. Okay, so we were pretty sure that, unless there's someone in the system that works some magic, he's not supposed to be getting anything from the government. So now we've got this all established. You guys can see the situation. The police were like, we've got a warrant. We've got a warrant for this guy's arrest, and we're excited. And I prematurely announced that they're going to be arresting him tonight in a live stream. I was all excited because it's like this case is over. Right? You guys are excited, right? This guy's going to see justice. The police are going to go there. And of all the things, this is why I went ahead and said the guy's name. They went and arrested a guy named Ian Breen. They arrested the wrong guy. Now, evidently in England, they don't fulfill the warrant right away, which we've been waiting for a little while now for them to finish to get their asses out, heads out of their asses, and either way, in this case, their asses out of their head or whatever at this point, and get over there and finish the job. And this same son of a bitch turns right around and starts bragging that he got away with it, basically. No, he didn't. For the first time ever, there are others out there, other men willing to take action. Mr. Green's been in and out of the hospital a few times because those men, some of the men that took action, well, some of the men that took action under my, I guess you could say, watchful eye from across the pond. They were some of the loved ones of the mothers that had the children that he tried to gain access to. So they had an axe to grind. They had a serious axe to grind. And Mr. Green got reminded why some guys, why you should behave yourself, guys. And now some of the women are getting restless. So, that sort of thing towards the mother that would be willing to allow this to happen to her children. Yeah, that's the thing. So, that really is what kind of spawned this series, is kind of talking about, bear in mind, the police know what's going on. They know who's behind all of this. They're not stupid. They know. And they have chose to turn a blind eye to the men who are helping with this case now. This was a joint effort between two countries, the citizens of two countries, to stop a guy with nefarious ideas about children. Children, and this brings me to yet another lesson in this series, okay? And a big one, okay? Build strong children, because it's easier to raise strong children than to fix broken adults. Take that to heart, okay? How many of you out there wish that somebody, living in adulthood, went through something awful when you were a kid and wished someone would have come out of the woodwork and came to your rescue? There's many people now starting to take notice of stuff like this. And thank God, there are people who have put down their cell phones and taken action. So big hats off to you, even though I'm not wearing a hat. Big hats off to you guys in England. Big special thank you to you guys for stepping up to the plate. People here in the United States, take note. Okay? Take note. And who says chivalry is dead? So that brings me to another good point, another good stopping point. Again, folks, get over there to Patreon, get over there to Teespring, supports the channel. But at this point, I'm going to remind all of you guys of the 3 important things that I say every video pretty much. And that is, get out there and work on a project. Don't care what it is. Just do something with yourselves. Remember, idle hands and a creative mind go together like oil and water. If you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet. Do something special for them today. As always, for every last one of you out there, no one out there has told you that they love you today. Prince Magnum does. God bless you, and have a happy 24. Thank you.